Hi everyone. I hope you're there. You know what I'm like, always worried. So another week's gone by. Another week of staying in and watching telly and reading books. Nothing much exciting's happened. So I think this is our second to last class because we've run out of money, which is very disappointing. But make the most of it, that's all I can say. Because we've got a fabulous guest tonight who is the wonderful Panty Bliss, but he's come as his alter ego tonight, Rory O'Neill. So he couldn't really be bothered to get changed. I don't blame him. It is a lot of effort. And I don't know Rory that well, but I know his brother much better, but I haven't seen his brother for a long while. So it'd be thrilling to speak to Rory, and I'm sure you will. So I'll ask him all about what happened to him and how his life changed. Oh, there's someone. Hi, Doug. Anyone else there? I do like to know who's there. Oh, hi, Vanessa. You got back from London? Good. I see you went there today. It must have been exciting. I haven't been there for over a year. Oh, hi, Christopher Milne. Hi, Adam Peter Hicks. Hiya. Anyone else? Is it just... Oh, hi, Maureen from Jersey. So I'm getting good at remembering where everyone is. Oh, hi, Fiona Godfrey. Oh, David Thomas. Hi. Haven't seen you here before. Hi, Pauline. Oh, I love your drawings, Pauline. Hi, Nazrin. Anyone else? Well, you don't want to see me gibbering on when you've got such a fantastic guest. Oh, hi, Kim. Hi, Kim. Hi, Mark Albert here as well. Hi, Mark. Oh, and Trindy as well. Oh, everyone's come tonight. That's lovely. Oh, hi. Oh, I'm glad you like my new Sainsbury's shoes. Oh, lots of people. Oh, hi, John Corey. Right. I'm going to now. But any questions you want to ask, please put them up. By the way, Katie, poor girl, she moved at the weekend and she hasn't got Wi-Fi yet. And she lives in a basement. So she's sitting in her garden all wrapped up with a big hood on, just so she can get a bit of 4G or something. So that's where Katie is. Oh, hi, Zuru from Japan. Hi, Louise Blakeway. Oh, you're back safe from London. Good. All right, then. Let me introduce you to Rory O'Neill, a.k.a. Panty Bliss.
Why?
Hello. Oh, you're all gone blurry again.
Am I?
That's all right. No, we've had a lot of trouble with Rory going blurry, but I think it comes and goes. So if you can take a screenshot when it's not blurry, then you can use that to draw from and then just listen to him. So it'll be fantastic. So I'm sure he's got a fantastic story to tell.
I'm sure everyone's disappointed that Panty isn't here, but you gave me the option to be lazy, so I took it.
Oh, why? Because I'm bone idle as well, so I understand. And just getting all ready just to go on a bit of a screen. So how long does it take you to get ready?
I like to have 3 hours. Just from everything, from beginning to very end and all. So I mean, I can do it much shorter, but it's in a panic.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I think you look lovely as you are. And you've got a nice check shirt on. That'll be nice for people.
I know. I'm working Butch Queen realness tonight.
Yeah, you're looking very butch today.
I'm eating grapes, so.
Oh, that's all right. You're welcome. I think the first time I met you was when your brother took me on the most bizarre holiday to Ireland. I don't quite know why he made me go, but it was enjoyable.
Which one was where?
When he finished Anthony Dauphin, he went all funny, and he went and stayed in Louisburg for the summer.
Oh, right, down in Louisburg. But Sue, I have this weird idea that did we also meet in Sitges one year? Am I imagining that?
Yeah, just after. No, I'm sure I met you. I met you first because then we had an overnight trip to Dublin, and I came to your club. And I really loved it because everyone there was so friendly. What was it called, that club, before you had?
Ham, was it?
That's it, Ham. Yeah, that's where I came. And everyone was so friendly and just they're telling you all their business, chatting away. It was right up my alley.
Yeah, right up your alley.
Yeah, everyone chatting and being friendly. It was really nice. And then, I mean, on the train coming to Dublin.
Gin for you.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm bored. A bottle of water. And on the train, your brother kept trying to go and speak to those people over there. Go and chat to them. Okay. But why? Why do I have to go speak? You just like it. Go on. I was like, no, I can't. So I was too shy.
But Lorcan, my brother Lorcan, he's an instigator. You know, he pushes other people to do the fun stuff while he just sits back and watches it happen.
Well, one of the
which I admire in him.
Yeah, he was had a lot of time sleeping in the day when I was there. And one day he stayed in bed all day, but gave me instructions to go across the road to this fantastic exhibition in the local school. It was hilarious. I did laugh, but it was much of an acting.
You know, I love my brother like you do. And one of the things I really admire about him is he honestly finds everybody interesting. Whether it's the bin man or the postman or Madonna or, you know, whoever, they're all interesting to him. And I love that about him.
I think I've got the same thing.
You do, Sue. You do.
If someone is a bit, I shouldn't say this, you know, like not really your type of person and that, or someone who's really boring, I find someone really boring really fascinating because they're so boring.
But that's why people all love you and love my brother Lorcan, because he's interested in everybody. And you're interested in everybody. And people like when people take an interest in them.
I do. Now, I need to talk about you, not about you and me and your brother. Right. So I met you there. Then we met in Stitches. That was rather a bizarre place. What were you doing?
Yeah, I love Stitches. I won't have a word said against it.
It's hilarious, though. What I loved, it seemed to me that it was full of gays from northern cities. Imagine in my mind, like Harrogate or something. And when they were Harrogate, they have to be quite good and can't be too gay. They don't want to upset the neighbours and they wouldn't hold hands with their boyfriend. So they're breaking along in the most ridiculous leather trousers, frilly blouses, just going mad. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I love it for all those reasons. It's also very sort of Euro middle classy gay, you know. It's all, you know, there's a lot of mustaches and expensive, you know, leather vests
and tiny weeny budgie smugglers.
Yeah right. And you look great in yours.
I do. Oh, it's a look I always go for, me and budgie smugglers. You know, it's a beautiful look. Where are we? So then I came to a club in Ireland, and that was great. But then, so you've always run clubs. So I see, if anyone wants to know more details on Rory's life, they can watch The Queen of Ireland, which me and Wayne Shahs watched round here one night. And it was all about, you started off your drag career in Japan, didn't you, or something?
Yeah. Well, I started in doing drag first in art college in Dublin in the 1980s. But, you know, it was in a fun, stupid, let's get drunk and run around screaming kind of way. Until I went to Japan, and sort of between 1990 and 1995, I ended up in Japan and mostly making some sort of living in Tokyo, running around dressed in drag. I had a drag partner. There was two of us, and our shtick, you know, was we were the foreign drag queens, and time of my life, loved it.
Oh, so
how
long were you in Japan for?
Just 4.5 years, kind of thing.
Oh,
from 1990 to 95.
Yeah. So why did you come home? You just felt like it?
Well, it was when I left Ireland, you know, in the late 80s, I ran out of the place, thought I would never come back here. It seemed so miserable. It was full of unemployment and grayness. It was, you know, decidedly oppressively heterosexual. It was all about, you know, the heterosexual rock guys with paisley shirts and a guitar and long hair. Like, I just hated every moment of it. And so I ran out, And then around 1995, I'd been in Tokyo for 5 years. A few things sort of seemed to be telling me my time up was there. Like my two best friends were leaving Japan for different reasons. The club that I'd been working mostly at for a long time was closing. Just a few things. So I thought, well, I'll go home to Ireland and see my parents for a while, and then I'll move on. I was going to maybe go to London or Paris or something. But when I came back, it was 1995, and it was a really brilliant time to be back in Ireland. And, homosexuality had been decriminalized while I was away. I know. And also, it was the beginning of the boom years for Ireland, our Celtic Tiger boom year. So there was, money being made. The country was changing. Dublin City was changing, like it was physically changing as much as anything else. They were building trams and, shiny office blocks were going up, whatever. And for the first time ever in Ireland's history, really, foreigners were coming to Ireland rather than Irish people running out of Ireland. It just felt like suddenly Ireland was actually a place that maybe I could, make a life, and it was a really fun time to be here. And so I went back to Ireland, expecting just to spend a little time there, check in with my parents and all that. But I ended up just staying because it was fun, and it felt like there was a lot of possibilities, and more possibilities than there are now, in the sense that, at the beginning of every boom is always a really good time. Like there was loads of empty venues around, that hadn't been snapped up and turned into shiny office buildings and all that. Yeah. But there was that energy about and everything. So I loved it then. It was a really fun, wild, creative time to be in Dublin. And so I ended up just staying, and I've never left because I'm lazy.
Are you lazy?
I have a tendency toward being a bit lazy. I always think of myself as lazy because I always think of my mother, giving out to me for not getting out of bed and all that stuff. But then when I look back at my life, I've always had to be busy and working. And when you choose this kind of way of making your living, you have to be a hard worker and a self-starter and all that, because you have to make all your own opportunities and all that stuff. So I've always thought I must be lazy because my mother would always give out to me about staying in bed. But then as I got older, I realized I'm not lazy. I'm just a classic night owl. I want to do everything at nighttime and nothing in the morning. But I do have I do have a tendency to to just want to lie down, like yourself, Sue.
I love it. I've got.
I can contemplate for hours.
Yeah, and I'm very good at doing things very quickly because I just want them done so that I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So I can always work out how to get everything done, so I can have more time to lie about.
I tended to be lazy at all the stuff that later on I realized I probably should have spent more time. Like accounts and paying your taxes and stuff. But I'm not lazy at all when it comes to having fun and getting annoyed about things.
Go out. If there's an opportunity to go out, I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, you've inspired me for many years.
Okay. There's an opportunity to be out, I'll be there. Now, we've been talking for 15 minutes. We haven't talked about the big event. I'm sure you're bored sick of talking about it. Those very special days in the winter of 2014.
No.
So there you were. You were just like drag queen. You had your clubs, you had your pubs. It was all great. And then weren't you asked on some television show?
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, this was on the 11th of January.
Pantygate.
Yeah, what happened?
It's actually the winter of.
Look like Colin Firth. That's not bad.
You do? I think that's a bit harsh on you, Sue.
Oh, Vita's there.
Oh, there's Veda.
Yeah. Oh, Murray Chalmers from last week. Look, come on, we're getting to the big bit now of the drama of what happened.
No.
It's
one of those things that sometimes it's hard to explain to somebody who isn't Irish. Okay, so it was actually the winter of 2013, wasn't it?
No, it was 11th of January.
Oh, yeah, January, February 2014. You're right.
Look, I did that. research I did.
So what happened? So, I was on like a, your regular kind of Saturday night chat show, the kind of one where it's, they might have a politician and then they might have an actress and, the usual thing.
Yeah.
Pretty casual. And it's even if it had it's not a political show. It's an entertainment show.
Yeah.
And I went on, I did a stupid performance. And then there was they wanted to have a chat about the person behind the drag. You know that thing? Yeah. So I did the drag performance at the beginning of the show. It's all live. And then I ran off and I took all the gear off. And then I came out as a guest as Rory towards the end.
Yeah.
And it was just nonsense chat, the usual, oh, you're gay. And then at one point, this discussion came up. Now, at the time, there was no, as you know, Sue, Ireland, brought in marriage equality by referendum in 2015. So at this stage, in like January 2014, that hadn't been decided, but it was in the air that might be happening. So a discussion around queerness and all that was in the air, was bubbling up a bit. And the host of the TV show, he was just asking me about, whatever, my queer life and all that. And then at one stage, we got into a discussion about, journalists and that, who were writing sort of anti-gay stuff and, and about homophobia in general. And in the course of that discussion, I named a couple of famous Irish journalists, who are homophobic. Let's be honest. And I thought nothing of it at the time. Thought absolutely nothing of it. Neither did any. I don't think the TV channel did either. It was on our version of the BBC.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything afterwards. All seemed fine. But then 6 different people sued me for defamation and also sued RTE, our version of BBC, sued RTE for defamation. And they were the journalists who I mentioned, and they're sort of famous journalists here. But also, I had also mentioned this sort of fringe, ultra-Catholic right-wing organization that campaigns like against abortion and against gay marriage and all that stuff. And I'd mentioned them. So I was sued by 2 of the journalists who I specifically named and 4 members of that organization, some of whom were also, journalists, well known. Like, it's also stupid. It's also stupid. And that seemed like a kind of a small but annoying thing for a while. And it became like a talking point in media circles and in queer circles because, it was like a media story.
Yeah.
But it wasn't of interest to the general public that much at first.
Yeah.
Except that the people who sued me are generally sort of hated anyway. But then our defamation laws are pretty old-fashioned and archaic, and they're difficult, and nobody ever wants to be sued for defamation in Ireland. It's hard to win a case against one, and the payouts can be enormous. It's complicated, and it can be expensive even to defend one because they're all heard, in front of a jury and all that. So our version of BBC, RTE paid those people money, settled out of court. I, of course, couldn't do that. I didn't have money, but they paid them 65 grand each or something. And that is then when the whole thing turned from not just being a gay story and a media sort of in story, but to a national story. Because, of course, the money they used to pay them was license fee payers' money. In other words, regular taxpayers' money. And then that turned it into this massive, huge scandal story about taxpayers' money, about freedom of speech, about homophobia, and about all this sort of stuff. So it became this big thing.
Time with all this going on about you that you never imagined would happen.
It was nutty. I mean, parts of it were fun and parts of it were depressing. It was a bit depressing because I literally had to find a defamation lawyer and have meetings with him, and he's telling me, that I could just be ruined overnight, and it's kind of stressful. But at the other time, parts it was sort of fun and also exciting because there was this sense that a referendum about gay marriage was going to be coming soon. Yeah. And suddenly, you know, you'd walk down the street and there'd be like shop window displays where the mannequins were all wearing T-shirts saying, "I'm on Team Panty," or restaurants. Yes, and like restaurants' receipts at the bottom, it would say, "We're on Team Panty." And, you know, it kicked off a kind of a sort of a movement in a way that really had nothing to do with me, but you know, it just was an easy way to, the movement sort of grew around it or something. Yeah. And then just when I kind of felt like this is completely nuts and weird, then I was asked to, you know, to give a speech at the Abbey Theatre in a context that had nothing to do with that. It was in like an artsy context. Yeah. And I sort of said to them, I didn't want to do it because I had a lot going on. I was going to have to write a speech, go there and make the speech on a Saturday night before I had to run off and do my usual stupid bar show. It was a lot of hassle. But I've done my theatre show there and they've been good to me. So I felt a bit sort of, okay, fuck it, I'll do it. Yeah. And I said to the director of the Abbey Theatre, like, can I say anything I want? Because around that time, I would go on TV shows or radio shows or speak to journalists, and there'd be all these lawyers then who would be poring over everything I said, and they wouldn't allow most of it to be said because they were all afraid of these defamation suits. But the director of the theatre said, sure, you can say whatever you want. It's just a live 10 minutes thing. So I went along, said my 10-minute thing, thought nothing of it really. You know, got some stuff off my chest and went off and did my Saturday bar show. And then woke up the next morning and the whole world had exploded about the speech.
Dog likes the story.
What?
Dog likes the story.
Well, it was just mental. Like, I literally went to the Abbey Theatre, went out, did the speech 10 minutes to an audience who were there to see another show. Like, they weren't, you know, queer activists or anything. They were your mother and your granny and tourists who were at the Abbey Theatre to see, you know, a show. Did this speech, hopped in a cab, went to my bar, Panty Bar, you know, jumped around the stage for the night, got drunk, was usual stupid show. Yeah. Went home, woke up the next morning, and CNN were calling, Channel 4 were calling, you know, just absolutely mental. And actually that 10-minute speech that I didn't even know was being filmed, changed my life. Yeah, changed my life.
Oh, it's funny that you can just spot at one little 10 minutes that completely changes your life, doesn't it?
It's mental. Like, you know, on the other hand, yes, it totally changed my life. But on the other hand, I can also sort of see that in some ways, everything I'd ever done before that moment was preparing me for that moment.
Yeah.
I spent years.
Awards beforehand and that, didn't you? You'd won some awards before.
And I did me theatre shows all around the world, whatever, and which are just monologues. So I've been developing my monologue technique and everything. So I can see that, you know, and I'd been involved in activism and stuff before that. So when I was making that speech, it felt very natural and comfortable to me, and I was just doing my thing. But even so, the reaction to it and what happened, you know, went all around the world, and it's translated into 15 different languages, and, you know, what is now, whatever, 6-7 years later, I still get emails all the time from people all around the world who've just stumbled across it on YouTube or something. Like, it's just mental what happened, what came from it. And
did you travel the world, and did you get taken all over the world?
Yeah, and until the pandemic, I still was. Well, one of the like, to add to all the weirdness. So then about a year later, you know, there was a referendum for marriage equality in this country. And because of all that, you know, Panty had become this kind of symbol for equality or something weirdly. And then she's sort of been co-opted into the mainstream, you know, like day before yesterday, Panty was doing this thing with the president's wife. You know, that's my life, whatever. And it's just, it became so weird. And then the Irish government, after we, you know, passed marriage equality by referendum, and we're the only country in the world that's ever done it by referendum, so it's kind of in a weird position. But then the Irish government decided, like, this is the image of Ireland we want out to the world. How do we sell this image, progressive, modern image of Ireland to the world? Oh, we'll get Panty on board. So, you know, the Irish government was sending me around to, like, various countries to speak on behalf of the nation, you know, dressed as a giant cartoon. Like, it's absolutely fucking nuts and hilarious in some ways. But, you know, like, it's been quite the ride. It's been fun.
It's been weird having a year off then without not much going on.
Oh, my God. I'm absolutely banging my head off the walls now. Like, my whole life stopped a year ago, and our lockdown's been the worst in Europe, even a lot worse than your guys. Like, Panty Bar has been closed for a whole year next month. Oh. A whole year.
And have you got a plan of when it might come back on, when you can open it?
No, well, like, everything changes all the time. They give you dates, and then those dates come, and, you know, obviously the figures for COVID are up or down or whatever, so nothing is. But they're suggesting just something similar to yours, that, you know, in and around June, they're going to start relaxing things as the vaccination has reached that sort of level. But I think what we call wet pubs, because here they made a distinction between pubs that are basically restaurants and serve, you know, have kitchens and all that, and pubs that are just pubs. And we're just a pub. And I think ours is going to be the very last thing allowed to open. So I suspect it could be anywhere up to September before we're allowed to fully open again. So the last year, like I said, I was lazy naturally, and I can't, but a whole year inside this apartment, you know, me and my fella who's in the background there somewhere, and he works from home. So he gets up at 7:30 a.m., gets on his laptop and is working away. And I spend the next 12 hours just creeping around behind him, annoying him, but, you know, because I have nothing else to do. It's mental. Driving me absolutely crazy at this stage.
I thought, I love thing to do. Yeah, after 2 weeks, I was going mental, but then luckily I started doing this. What I forgot to do,
in the beginning, I was the same. Huh?
I forgot to tell people who knew what they're meant to do. Because it's a chit chat and art. And I've never mentioned the art bits of people, the new people. So you're meant to draw while you go along, all right? And if you haven't got any pen or paper handy, don't worry, because you can do it on lipstick, a pizza box, a felt pen, whatever you've got. Just try and do a little sketch for us and then send it up at the end. And then we have a gallery on the Facebook tomorrow. But I forgot to mention the most important part because I was so excited to talk to you. Right. What exciting adventure you had because of all this happening?
What other exciting adventures? Well, like for years. So I got into drag in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Because it was fun and stupid and punk and, you know, transgressive and underground and all of those things. And the idea then that you could make a proper living and, you know, get a mortgage based on it was just it was a nutty idea. Nobody would have thought that. So I got into it, you know, for all of those reasons.
Yeah.
And so then to have ended up in this place later, you know, it's quite the bizarre, fun, you know, trajectory. And actually, you know, because a very large part of the reason I got into it is because of your friend Lee, of course.
Oh yeah.
Because when I was maybe 18, my first summer in art college, and then in the summer I went and I stayed with my brother Lorcan, your great mate, in London, just, you know, as the 18-year-old younger, you know, gay brother. Yeah, in Earl's Court. And so then in Chelsea. And so I went there to stay with my brother for the summer. I was going to get a restaurant job or whatever. And literally the night I arrived, he had a party in the apartment, you know, just to introduce me to some people or whatever. And I literally arrived. I'm this 18-year-old naive kid from, you know, the west of Ireland. I arrive at my brother's apartment in London. There's a party going on, and I walk into the kitchen, and there's this enormous, nutty looking guy in the kitchen wearing a tailored ladies jacket with little swastikas all over it. And there was this massive discussion going on in the kitchen about whether or not he should be wearing a jacket with these tiny little embroidered swastikas. And he was very firmly defending the fact that they were, symbols of which
Indian,
religion? Which?
Are they some Indian symbol or something?
Yes, they are, like of peace or whichever religion uses them or whatever. And he was just saying other people's ignorance isn't his problem. And I was just like, who is? And he had the nutty wig on and everything, and to me, he was just this nutty creature. But then, of course, that summer, I was running around London, going to Bang and Daisy Chain and all of those clubs, living my newest, most fabulous gay life. And Lee was there at all the doors and being fabulous and, whatever. And he would go, oh, Rory, Lorcan's little baby brother, you come here, and I just felt like, I was being looked after by this fabulous star, and Lee to me was super inspiring beyond the obvious things that everybody finds him inspiring for. But because Lee was from the arsehole of nowhere in Australia, and yet when I met him, he was the most spectacular, most fabulous creature in the whole of cool London, the most fabulous creature among a whole host of fabulous creatures. And I just kind of thought, oh, actually, I don't have to be always from Ballinrobe County Mail, the vet's son. I can be anything I fucking want to be. So if he can do that, I can be Panty fucking Bliss or whatever, So I found...
How well has it worked out for you? It's amazing.
Well, pretty fine. Well, until the pandemic arrived. But yeah. But so I always credit Lee with that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Everyone who ever met him, they always remember everything they know. That when they met him, they remember it so much.
Yeah.
Birthday in a few weeks.
I wrote about it in my book. I'll have to photograph those pages and send them to you.
Oh yes, I don't know if I've read your book. I might have done.
You bitch! You better have. It's a good few years old now. You might have forgotten about it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I read books and I just forget I've written them because I read so many.
I've read yours.
Familiar to me. What was I going to say to you now? Yeah, because anyway, for his 60th birthday, I've had a thought that I'm going to try everyone I know just to put pictures of him on Facebook and Instagram just on that day. Because I think that'll be... No one ever forgets him, though, do they?
No.
Right, and then, let me think what else happened. You got given an honorary degree as doctor.
Which I use on Twitter because I just think it's funny. Dr. Panty Bliss is funny.
I think it's fantastic. I'd be thrilled to give a doctorate because I haven't even got a degree.
Yeah, I've also these nutty things. I have an honorary doctorate from Trinity. I have a certificate from New York City Council. I have all these nutty things. People like to give awards to people who will look good in photographs accepting them.
Yeah. Oh. But have you been ever given any nice, really good gifts or anything? I love gifts.
Well, occasionally, I think if you're a little bit political, you don't get all the stuff that the influencers get, but you do get some of them. Well, here's a good thing. Like about a week ago, I broke my gin balloon glass, and I'd only had one left, and I broke it, and I put it on Twitter. God, I broke my fucking balloon glass. First the COVID pandemic, and now I've broken. And literally 3 different people on Twitter, sent me new gin balloon glasses.
Oh, that's nice, though, isn't it?
Isn't it? You hear so much crap about Twitter, but it can be nice too.
Yeah, my favourite thing from Twitter, I was moaning that I wanted this was a few years ago, the new flavour Kit Kats. They had like coconut ones and all this. Next thing I know, there was a little bag on my doorstep. I thought I'd arrived. I thought, blimey.
From Kit Kat or from a regular person?
It was from the woman who's a journalist, and she got in touch with Kit Kat to send them to me. See, that's how easily I am. 6 free kick.
There are Lady Gaga Oreos now. If you go into Tesco, there are all the packets of Oreos have like Lady Gaga on them, and like, what is that about?
She's not hard up for money, is she? So why would
She
she do
isn't.
that?
So, well, it just cost her $500,000 to get her dogs back. So,
now I know this is very boring. I'm sure you're sick of this story, but you mentioned her name earlier, and Wayne told me this story. He told it very well himself about the time you met Madonna at David What's-Its funeral. What's his name? The interior designer guy.
Yes. It is a funny story. Do you want that whole story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even Wayne telling me I loved it, but you're
well, so as you know, my brother Lorcan is very tight with Madonna.
He is, yes.
Yes, they're very tight, and have been for a long time. And God, how many years ago is it now? It must be like 7 or 8 years ago, more. Oh, God, I don't know. So a number of years ago, let's say 10 years. About 10 years ago, David Collins, the interior designer or interior architect, whatever, passed away, and he had done a lot of work with Madonna, and he was very tight with Madonna. And I knew David, and Lorcan was super great friends with David and all that. And David was originally from Dublin, and he passed away, David, and so his funeral was going to be here in Dublin. And our other good friend that we have in common, Sue, Brendan, myself and Brendan, so we were going to be going to the funeral, obviously. And then, like a few days before the funeral, my brother Lorcan, and you know what a sort of micromanager, how anal Lorcan is about something. So he emails me and he says, that he can't come to the funeral because he has all this business stuff he couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
But that his boyfriend Sergio was going to come to Dublin for the funeral. And so he was sort of saying, will you, hook up with Sergio when he arrives in Dublin and go to the funeral with him? And then he says, Madonna is also going to the funeral. And I don't think she's going to know anybody in Dublin. So I think you should stay with Madonna at the church and all. And I'm thinking, this is my nutty brother, because like it's fucking Madonna. She's hardly going to arrive on a Ryanair flight and then get the airport bus into town, like wandering around trying to find the funeral. Like it'll all be organized. So I'm just kind of like smiling about that. But then the morning the funeral comes, and I went and hooked up with Brendan, and then we drove to the hotel where Sergio was staying after just arriving that morning. We picked up Sergio, and then the three of us drove out to the suburb where the funeral was going to be, where Dave was originally from. Yeah. And it's kind of a, very nice, by the sea, inner suburb, I guess you would call it, of Dublin, middle class, very nice. And it's like what?
You get the darts there?
Oh, well, we could have, but we didn't. We drove. And we sort of get out there, and it's like a really lovely, sunny spring day, And we get out there, and when we pull up at the church, like there's a lot of people already gathered. And across the street, there are like paparazzi photographers, waiting. And we're like, oh, they must have heard that Madonna is probably coming. Now, there are some other celebrities at the thing, like Graham Norton is there outside and everything. But, in Dublin, nobody really cares about seeing Graham Norton. But the paparazzi really want to get a picture of Madonna. And so we get out and we're just hanging out and chatting outside. And then the time comes for the services start, and there's no sign of Madonna at all. And so we sort of think, oh, well, she's probably not coming at all. And the whole thing is just whatever.
Yeah. So
we go into church and the service starts, and it is a funeral. So we're not thinking about Madonna anymore. Like it's a funeral service, and it goes on. And then really late, like 10 minutes before the very end of the funeral service, there's like a movement at the back, and this small group of people walk up, and then they sit in beside us on the pew. We just happen to have space, and they sit down beside us, and I sort of glance over, and it's Madonna, and she has like her two girlfriends and a hot security guard, and it is a funeral and all. But I think David Collins, you knew him, wouldn't have minded. Yes, there was like a bit of electricity in this, small, suburban church in Dublin because fucking Madonna just walked in. And so the service goes on and sort of finishes. And then at the end, everybody gets up to leave except Madonna and her friends. And so we have to sort of squeeze by them. And as we squeeze by, they sort of say hi. Now, I was aware that my brother had probably said, and and one of the two women who were with her recognized me, and I kind of vaguely recognized her, and so we just nodded hi. That was the end. We go outside, and then everybody is gathered on the pavement outside, and then Madonna is the very last person to come out of the church, and she comes out of the doors at the top of the steps, and then the paparazzi, come running across the street. They're going mental with the cameras, and Madonna comes down the steps, and then her sort of hot security man sort of grabs her by her elbow and pushes her through the crowd, and they nip back into the church grounds, and they run down the side of the church and into a small annex building. And then at that point, we sort of think, oh, well, that was kind of exciting, a bit of flash of Madonna running by. But we thought that was the end of our Madonna experience. Yeah. And we were cool with that. That was fine. That was enough. But see, and I don't know how, your British funerals, your English funerals anyway, are so weird to Irish people. You don't know how to do death. I mean, like, we're really good at death. And so, I know in your English funerals, it can be weeks after the person dies before the actual funeral. And, it's quite small, the family and all that. Whereas in an Irish funeral, if your cousin knows the cousin of the person who died's brother, you have to go to the funeral. It's it's mandatory. Everybody gets the day off work. The funeral happens 3 days after the person passes away. It's all very organized. Everyone knows exactly what to do. And what happens now after the church service is everybody will follow the hearse to the graveside, and depending on how far that distance is, because they drive super slowly, that could take a long time. And they go to the graveyard, and everyone stands around while there's the natural burial part, and then everybody leaves there and goes to the party, which is what everybody's waiting for. Yeah. And I hate the graveyard part, the hole in the ground part. I just never enjoyed that part. I know it's not all about enjoyment, but if I can avoid that part, I often do. I just don't like the hole in the ground part. I think because I'm gay, Sue.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I sort of say I knew too that the graveyard they're going to was miles in that direction, and the party afterwards was miles in this direction, right up in the Dublin mountains in a very swanky, hotel. Yeah. So I said to Brendan and Sergio, I said, I don't like the hole in the ground part. Let's just skip that, and we'll go just straight to the hotel. And and the hotel's very fancy up in the Dublin mountains and has beautiful grounds. And then we just wander, hang out for a while, and wait for the couple of hours till everybody else gets back there. And Brendan and Sergio are also homosexual, and they don't like the hole in the ground part either. So they were like, I know. So they're like, cool. So we get into the car, and we go that way, straight up into the Dublin mountains. I don't know, like 45 minutes drive. Beautiful, fancy 5-star hotel, famous one, gorgeous, beautiful grounds, all that. And everybody else has gone to the funeral, to the cemetery. And then we get to the hotel, and we go inside for a minute, and it's a beautiful, huge, gigantic, entrance hallway thing, whatever. And I go up to a monkey suit, and I sort of say, excuse me, we're here for the funeral party. And he says, oh, yes, well, that's going to be in the Gordon Ramsay restaurant downstairs. But we're not expecting anybody for a couple of more hours. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. We just want to make sure that we're meant to be. We'll go and enjoy your beautiful grounds, and we'll come back in a couple of hours. So we're about to walk outside, and Sergio says he needs to find a toilet. So Sergio goes off to find a toilet, and this is huge, this place. So he could be a while. So while we're waiting, myself and Brendan were kind of leaning on these banisters, looking down the steps into the Gordon Ramsay restaurant. And then, the feeling that you get when somebody super famous comes up behind you. Yeah. And so we turn around. Yeah. And there's, Madonna. And she sort of looks at us, and she puts out her hand to me, and she says, should I know you? And I was like, yes. Yes, you should. Yeah. And so I said, oh, I'm Lorcan's brother, and we did the introductions or whatever. And then she says, Oh, because it turns out, of course, of all the people at the funeral, the only other person who decided to skip the cemetery was Madonna. So she says, shall we go down to the restaurant? And she starts to go down the steps, to the Gordon Ramsay restaurant. And I say, well, actually, we're waiting for Sergio. He's just gone to, to find a toilet. And she turns around and she goes, well, we wouldn't want to lose fucking Sergio. Which was just so, I don't know, brilliantly Madonna or something. So then we go down, we wait for Sergio, and then we go down into the restaurant, and we walk in the door, and it's, it's beautiful and huge, and it has these like big terraces and everything. And it's entirely empty because the whole thing is been reserved for this funeral party. So when we walk in, there's nobody there except a couple of gay waiters, polishing the silverware or whatever they do when they're waiting to wait. Yeah. And they sort of look up and they see Madonna coming in. And so even it was worth it just for that moment alone, their faces when they see fucking Madonna walking in. And then you can see their next thought is, what the fuck is Panty doing with that with Madonna? But then Madonna, somebody says, will we sit outside? Because there's like a big terrace at the restaurant. It's a beautiful day. And she says, I don't want to sit outside. I want to sit near outside. So we sat near outside, just at a table just inside. And then for the next, hour and a half or so, we were, the six of us, myself, Brendan, Sergio, and Madonna and her two girlfriends, were the only people in the restaurant for an hour and a half having lunch together. Like, it was super fun. And she was lovely, by the way, fun and nice and telling funny stories and whatever. And of course, at one point, she decided she didn't like the wine that was being served, that had been prepaid for all the guests, whatever. And she made this huge big deal out of making Sergio pick a better wine.
Against Sergio, didn't
she? She goes in, if, of course, you can get any decent wine in this God-forsaken country.
And what I want to know as well is when, didn't some local people phone up their family and say who was there and kept calling them Donna or someone?
Oh, I don't remember that bit. Like, her whole attitude the whole time, I think her default setting is jokey cunt. Yeah. So that was that. But at the end, like when everybody else started arriving back, me and Brendan did then sort of have to go because it was like a Wednesday or something, and we had stuff to go back in City for. But Sergio, he had just come all the way from Italy. So he wanted to stay at this party. And, Irish funerals, this is the big fun part.
Fabulous.
So we were about to leave. But Sergio was all like, well, how will I get back to the city and all? And I was like, oh, it's fine. It's a funeral. Everybody will be going back to the city. Loads, people will be, some people will be drinking, some people won't. Anybody here will give you a lift back. But he was just being really highly strung about that. So I could sort of feel myself turning into my West of Ireland mammy mother, turning around to me and going, Madonna, you have a big car. You could take Sergio back into the city. You could take Sergio, couldn't you? Like, sort of making her take Sergio. And in fairness to her, she did. She took Sergio all the way back to the city and had him dropped off to the hotel. So she was like, she was fun and easy about it. But it was very just a weird little funny day.
About it at that hotel. Has anyone, because we have, look, the time's whizzing by. We've only got about 10 minutes left. Has anyone got any questions or any pictures they've drawn they'd like to send in?
Oh, I'd love to see pictures. Do people really draw the pictures and everything?
Yeah. Hi, Erica.
Oh, Erica. I know Erica's fabulous. You'd love her.
I hope. Did you get a picture of you and Madge?
No, we didn't. Did we? No, we didn't. I think it felt inappropriate at a funeral.
Wayne Shires loves that story. Well, I'll tell you my funny. I went to a funeral about 3 years ago near here. Well, no, it was in a really weird place, Gospel. And it was quite, my friend works in films and Rupert Everett was there and that. Then suddenly everyone was just looking around like this, couldn't believe their eyes. Danny DeVito was there. But absolutely no one knew why. But he really made the funeral.
You English people are weird about funerals, though. Like I see Wayne Shires, I saw him saying hi there. Like I always remember, I think it was Wayne sort of saying, "Would it be okay if I came to the funeral of one of our Irish friends?" I was like, "Well, of course in Ireland, if you have even the remotest connection, you're supposed to go because the numbers at the funeral is a sign of respect." And And it doesn't matter whether you could be the prime minister. If some distant cousin of yours or a neighbor of your cousin died, you still get the day off to go to the funeral. Like, it's that important. And there's all these like little ingrained rituals that you have to do when you're there.
Now, when you can't have a proper funeral.
I know it's been one of the biggest things here. The effect it's had on funerals because people aren't alive. So what they do now is people stand out on the road. And as it drives by, they all clap. It's the closest they're allowed to. And it's kind of beautiful in its own way or something. But some of the best nights out I've ever had have been at funerals. The party, the way the party of a funeral is the best fun.
Who was it after whose funeral? Oh, my flatmate.
Tell me about your dog, Penny.
Where is Penny?
I don't know where she is. Oh, well, Penny has company these days. I don't know where Penny is, but this is Crayon.
Oh, because Vanessa's got lots of cats and dogs. Oh, because I'm too frightened. I've never even had a cat touch me. I think I'd run away. I don't like the look of it.
A cat?
Yeah, I've never even had a cat touch me. I don't think I have to something about them I can't take to them. I watch videos of them and I find them quite amusing. Oh, where's the
so good. You would love a cat, Sue. They're so fun and entertaining, and when they want to be affectionate, they're the most affectionate things in the world. Oh my God.
Now Katie wants to know how you got the name Panty Bliss.
When I first went to Japan, my drag name was Letitia.
Yeah.
And I worked with an American drag queen from Atlanta, Georgia, called Lurleen. So it was Lurleen and Letitia. And they are the worst possible names to have in Japan because the whole LR thing, they don't have the L sound or the R sound in Japan. They have another sound that's somewhere in between the two. So they can't hear the difference between those and they can't remember them and they can't say them. So nobody could ever remember our names, Lurleen and Letitia. And then one night we're in a club and we had to sign like an invoice kind of thing or something.
Yeah.
And and we'd realized that this was a difficulty for us. So we thought we'd choose a group name, that would just be a group name, but we'd still be Lurleen and Letitia. And we knew that the group name should be foreign sounding because that was our kind of USP. We were foreigners. It should be cutesy in the way that Japanese people like cutesy things. It should preferably be English words that Japanese people already use because they're would be familiar with it, whatever. And so the name we chose as our group name was Candy Panty.
Yeah.
But that was meant to be like ABBA, but we would still be Agneta and Frida.
Oh.
But as soon as we chose, Candy Panty, they immediately started calling us Candy and Panty. And I used to wear very short skirts at the time. I was much younger. And when my knickers would show a lot. So they always called me Panties, a Candy and Panty. And it just stuck. It was like a nickname that stuck. And then the bliss part was literally a club owner handed me an invoice that I had to fill out. And he insisted I give a second name, family name. I literally just wrote down the first thing that came into my head, Panty Bliss. And it's a stupid name. It's a kind of problematic name because people who hear it but don't know what I do, they imagine I'm some sort of sexy, stripper act or something, but on the upside, people never forget it.
Never.
So.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the scene like in Dublin?
It's it's relatively small in comparison to, say, London or something. But it's very open. It's fun, super friendly, as you know. It's very friendly and easy. And it's fun. It's one of those that you have to know someone to find the fun places. It's one of those. You need to find a local and ask them what's going on tonight and where.
Yeah. Oh, the secret words.
A bit.
Did you watch Normal People by any chance, talking of Dublin?
This is going to sound terrible. I watched the first episode. I wanted to love it because everyone loves it and everyone here loved it. It was so slow. So I didn't.
I did watch it all. But
I might go back. But the hot guy that everybody falls in love with, he got in trouble recently here in Ireland because he was working out. He's making a movie in Australia, and he was working out in a gym there, which is owned by the big drug cartel here in Dublin.
Oh.
Yes, well, like gangland drugs and all. So people were very annoyed with him.
Oh, does everyone? What is it in Australia or in Dublin? The gym?
It's in Australia, but the Irish drug gangs have their feelers out everywhere, and they're very into boxing, so they're very connected to boxing gyms and all of that.
Oh, I never knew there was such a thing. Any more questions waiting from anyone? We've got 5 minutes left, and if you've done a picture, can you send it up?
I'd love to see a picture. I have my glasses on so I can see them.
I know, because otherwise we have to wait till tomorrow. Katie, Katie's in the garden. Hope she can hear me.
Oh God, poor Katie. Is she not freezing? Is she in Scotland?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Oh yeah.
Anyone there?
Where would you see the pictures? Can I see them here on StreamYard?
The screen for us to see, but perhaps no one sent one in.
Oh,
better.
Well. It'd be hard to concentrate on drawing when the rapid wit and repartee has been so spectacular.
Oh, she's in
the left my phone in the garden. I'm in the.
She can't put them up now because she's in the flat because it's too cold in the garden. But the phone is sending this to us from the garden, so we won't be able to see them until tomorrow. Oh, that's disappointing. But honestly, I'll see them all tomorrow, and it'll be worth the wait. You'll be all something to look forward to tomorrow afternoon.
But come here, Sue. Tell me a little bit more about your new life by the sea. To me, you're an icon of running around crazy London in a way, and you seem to have taken to the country life so beautifully.
I haven't been to London for over a year, and I never even wanted to leave. I never thought, I'll leave London. It all happened as a whim, and I came here.
Yeah.
And I see my friends from London much more now because Wayne's here now. I've seen Brendan.
Yeah, everybody's there now.
One comes to Wayne's pub, so I see everyone, and it's lovely because I see. But that's what I miss while this is on because they're not coming down from London. But in the summer, look like Princess Julia just came from the day just to go swimming.
Yeah, I saw those pictures. You look great on the beach together.
Really lovely that. So I see my friends much more here, and then when you visit people here, because everywhere's like 5 minutes away, so you can just go and visit people and it's no big deal, and you can just come home after 15 minutes if you want, whereas in London, by the time you trudged over to West London, probably took you an hour and a half, 30 or 40 pounds. You feel you'd have to stay for a while.
Yeah.
People just
when I was younger, I went to Tokyo because I was like, I want to be in the biggest city in the world, and I looked them up in the encyclopedia at the time, and it was Tokyo and Mexico at the time, whatever. And when I was younger and I had the energy for all of that, I loved that and the energy of London and all that. But now I'm at the age I am now, I'm like, I don't want to have to spend 5 phone calls arranging a cup of coffee and an hour choosing which coffee shop and then half an hour on a train just to meet somebody for coffee.
Not much here, so you know where you're going. You go. So someone ring up, go, I'll see you down the front in 5 minutes. Go, all right then, and off you go. You're bumping.
And I like wandering around and bumping into people. That almost never happens,
Favorite thing.
But that happens to everybody as you get older, I guess.
Yeah, I live the world of an old lady, really.
Well, everybody except Princess Julia.
Have you had any grants from the government?
Yes, we have. So the pub has been closed for a year, and actually we have 2 venues, so they're both been closed for a year. And my best guess is we'll be allowed to open towards the end of the summer, September, unless something terrible happens in the meantime. And the only reason we have a business still to open is because we get government grants weekly to cover the, it's based on how much your turnover was originally, but it's enough to keep the wolf in the door.
Yeah, oh good.
Depending on the circumstances, how good the landlord is or whatever. But it's been enough for us, so
good.
We just can't wait to get
doors open. To visit us over here.
Sorry?
When are you coming over to visit us here?
Well, I'm not being allowed at the moment, am I really? But I'm dying to go over and see you and Wayne and all. And as soon as it's all over, guys have to come back over and hang out in Panty Bar.
I think you'd love it here because it's quite hilarious, and everyone here is quite eccentric. So everyone you meet, you just have a good chat with. You go,
Yeah.
what? Fancy that? Oh, you know.
And are you involved in local community things?
So what? This is community, yeah. I do. I remember once at Christmas, not this Christmas before, me and Rachel Alban DJ'd at a disco that was raising money to look after the Christmas lights. And I thought, I never wanted to be part of community, and now I am. I'm playing records with the Christmas lights. It was lovely.
You know, I'm from a small town in the west of Ireland, so I get all of that, and I think it's really charming and lovely that you're like part of the St. Leonard's local community, but also doing nutty things.
It's ever so weird, it's my life, but still, that's the way it is. But
are you a local celebrity?
Pardon?
Are you a local celebrity?
No. There's lots of celebrities here, you wouldn't believe. It's like Stella Street, to be honest. We've got them
all. Like who?
June McKitchen, who's an actor. Maria McAlane, who does the Graham Norton Problems with him.
Okay.
Yeah, her. Very like musicians and that. I don't really, like David Bowie's music guitarist. He was like a guest on this. Oh, Sarah J. Morris. She used to sing with the Communards.
Oh.
Yeah, with Jimmy Somerville. She was my guest as well. It's not like Elizabeth Taylor.
Well, no, but I wasn't expecting Elizabeth Taylor.
But enough to keep.
Well, I mean, a lot of sort of, nuts and artsy weirdos have moved there, and it's fun, right?
Yeah, and then like all the people from Stephen, do you know Stephen Linnard, one of the Blitz kids? He's just moved here. So really, we call it Taboo on Sea because lots of people who went there live here now.
Well, because you're all of a certain age now.
That's it, yes. We're a bit too old for this bright lights.
The bright lights are bright and they're too much.
Oh yeah, lots of people come from Brighton to here as well. Yes. It's quieter here. But there's all. If you want to go,
guys, I've got a couple of drawings. Do you want to see?
Yes, I'd love to see some drawings.
Yeah. But if you want to go out, there's somewhere to go every night, isn't there, Katie? If you wanted to.
Yeah. Oh wait.
Because Katie puts on lots of alternative acts and things like that.
I do. Yeah. Look, I've made them the background by mistake. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
Oh, I see. There's a drawing in the background there.
Oh, so we're blocking it.
Yeah.
It looks good, whoever it is, whoever did it.
I wore my, my nice glasses for.
Yeah, I took your Harry Potter ones off.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my blue Harry Potter.
That's nice.
Oh, I am serving Butch Queen realness.
Do you watch Drag Race?
I do, and at the moment, I'm so much more enjoying the British one than the American one.
I love it. Bing,
bang, it has a sense of fun that the American one seems to have lost a bit.
I was a bit. Saturday, I usually watch. I was looking for. It wasn't even on this Saturday. I don't know what happened.
Yes, something to do with the coronavirus, I believe.
They've got to wait till next week. Yes. So every Thursday, it's my treat to watch Bing Bang Boom.
Bing Bang. Oh my God! What an earworm.
This one is Adam Peter Hicks.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yes.
Oh
my God.
Someone did that in that time. That's amazing.
That's a fast.
This one is Christopher Milne.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Wow, Christopher Milne. I love this one.
Is that Vanessa or is it David Sands?
It's David Sands, yeah.
Yeah, well done, David, with those lovely bright colours. Because I keep telling him off, he has to do it bright. Oh, that's lovely.
These people are good. What does it say? My glasses aren't that good.
Lady Gaga on Oreo packets. She doesn't need the money. It's a funny story. My brother is very tight with Madonna. Oh, that's lovely. Oh,
wow. This one was Erica Smith. This was Erica Smith.
Oh, that's lovely. She lives here, doesn't she?
I'm so impressed with these.
You look a bit like Elton John there.
I was just about to say I'm serving Elton John here, but that's not a bad thing. I'm into that.
Who did this
that
one?
Was Julian Gagno.
Oh, Julian
it's
did
good.
That. You know Julian? Oh, that's by Kevin Sullivan. Well done.
I love that Kevin's giving me like proper macho beard.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin, for seeing the true top inside of me.
Oh, they're so lovely.
Wow.
One is Nazaran Montag.
Oh, you know Nazarene, don't you? She lives here.
No, I don't know Nazaran.
Oh, yeah, she used to come to me. She was original at my proper art class. But I knew her in London.
Oh, I don't know Nazarene. that was
I don't know Nazaran.
I don't know Nazarene.
Which one is
so good.
Vanessa Crawford?
Who?
Vanessa Crawford.
Yeah, I thought it was Vanessa. Lovely. Look, little wolf with the dog.
Oh, and we never even got her. She's in bed and she's 13, my dog, so she only does what she wants to do. And right now she does not want to interact with people, so she ain't doing it.
There's loads more coming in, so I'll upload them all tonight and we'll have the gallery tomorrow. So keep sending them in, people.
Tell people about next week's model. Before you go, big disappointment. I'm going to be the model next week because it's the last one. And because I did the first one, and then Despo asked me to do it, but I'm going to make it really, really colourful. So get all your colourful pens, crayons, and colours out. So I'm going to sit in all my cushions with this embroidered dress on. So
and is someone going to interview you?
Well,
is
yeah, Katie,
ask questions?
Yeah, they can ask questions. Then Katie can ask me questions as well. But you know, anything you want to ask me. Usually, subjects I like is, what's your favourite book? What do you have for your tea? What's your favourite telly programme? Sort of question.
the really cutting edge stuff.
Up inside of you, all right. That's your because Vita's been
not
here.
Months in lockdown.
Any other comments? Oh, I've enjoyed this so much. I could have chatted for hours on end.
It was nice to see you, like for longer than a 2-minute burst.
I can't remember the last time I saw you in real life.
Yeah, it's been ages.
Yeah.
Fiona Godfrey. John Carr.
He's a regular. His wife.
Do you know all your regulars?
Sort of, because his wife went to college with one of my friends, and then, but I've met them here a couple of times. They sometimes come here to visit, but they live in Shaftesbury. Oh, Paul O'Grady.
That's Vader being an absolute K-U-N-T.
Not nice, Vader, to be horrible to your friend. Oh, I'm glad you joined Adam Peter Hicks and Christopher Milne. You did lovely pictures.
Yes, I was very impressed with the pictures.
Oh, and wait till you see them, because Hizuru from Japan, everyone always loves hers because they're so pretty. You'll look gorgeous in it, and I have all stars in the background.
Oh,
yes.
O'Grady was never in it.
Oh. Well,
I'm on my second gin and tonic.
You had your tea yet, or are you having it now?
I'll have like a piece of cake or something.
Oh, nice, lovely. I might have some pasta. Right, and now I'm going to watch. This is how dull I am. I'm going to watch I think it's on Channel 5. The woman who's got 22 children.
There's Hizuru Fujimoto.
Yeah, she's this one she'll do a lovely picture of you. She's very nice. All the way from Tokyo, I think, or somewhere in Japan. Right.
No, there's more than just Tokyo, but Tokyo's the best part.
Oh, Doug wants a car to pick him up at the airport because he needs to visit. Thanks.
Listen, there are cars available.
Oh. Right. So I'm afraid we're over. Oh.
Lovely to chat to you, Sue.
So lovely. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it so much. And I do hope you come here one day, or I'll come to Dublin with Wayne.
No, I absolutely must. I want to see you and Wayne. And there's Wayne.
Yeah.
I want to see you and Wayne and see the bar. And I followed your decorative journey on Facebook, so I want to see your flat.
Bars.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Bars.
Yes. Thanks, Rita. I hope you come back over here soon. Thanks, Julian. Was that you burping?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was breathing in my gin.
I can talk. I'm disgusting. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Lovely to see you, Sue. And thank you, everybody, for the drawing.